Hey everybody, welcome back to Soulful Artist. Let's talk. How is everybody doing? I hope everybody has been enjoying all of my tarot readings and the insight that I can bring here on my page. I know it's kind of an amalgamation of all the things that I enjoy, and it's just me. This is just me. This is just my YouTube channel dedicated to the things that I love doing and love sharing with everybody. So I'm up to 34 subscribers, and thank you and welcome to all the people that are looking, okay, and that are following. I'm going through a bit of a transition in my life right now, and I just really want to talk a little bit about choices. And it's so hard when you're trying to learn to understand yourself better and learn to understand others better and how they may be reflecting certain issues back at you and how you're showing them pieces of themselves. And I have really learned that a lot of people, myself included, okay, we don't, a lot of people really don't realize that choice. It's sometimes it's all down to the choices that you make internally and how that's affecting your external reality. So I'm always trying to show people that the choices that you make are always down to you. Now, whatever it is that you let influence your choice, it's going to color that. It's going to color the choice that you make. It's going to be a choice that you've made for others. It's going to be a choice that you've made to do something, and to that is to either please others or to get a certain outcome, okay? Sometimes we have to make choices like that. Sometimes we need to make choices that improve our lives and relationships with others when we see that something is not going as smoothly as it could, right? But really, the power of a choice internally is where the true power lies in what you're going to do next. Okay? I am not saying that people out there choose to have specific things happen to them on a daily basis. You're not sitting there choosing to do specific things, but in a sense, you are. If you're continuing to engage in specific things without making a choice that helps you to grow or get out of that situation, you can make choices that are keeping you stuck. And whatever choice it is that you need to make to improve your life and improve that situation or get you out of a rut or get you out of an abusive relationship, you can blame the other person as much as you want, but there are things that you have contributed to, okay, either by your inaction, and I'm not saying, I'm not saying you're doing things wrong, because I've done this as well. This is just how humans are. Sometimes we look to the outside and we say, that's why I made that choice. That's why I did that. That's why they made me do that. They made me make that choice. That person, they gave me a piece of information and I went and I made that choice and therefore it's their fault, or, but the thing is, really, you internally, you made that choice. Just like you continue to make a choice to either not defend yourself or to be a victim, okay? And really, what is important here is, have you put yourself into a victim state and made the choice to stay there? Have you made the choice to stay stuck in a cycle, not realizing your triggers, not realizing the things that you need to do to help yourself? And this is a big, huge lesson of humanity, and it's a lesson on a macro level, and micro, whatever. Okay, these lessons of choice. We can choose to react a certain way to this pandemic. We can choose to react a certain way to, how we're going to create a reality that is better for all of us, for everyone, a connection with source, we make that choice to either be cut off or to not. We make those choices. We make the choice to stay in the marriage or stay with, for one excuse or another. And I'm not saying release your integrity and stop being, don't have any honor or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, if those are values that are important to you, if you have a value system, it's often good to check in with yourself. Am I making choices based around my value system that are detrimental? Because you can do that. You can't do that. You can be stuck with a value system where you were raised a certain way, programmed a certain way, and you're making choices around a value system that isn't even your own. Okay, you can do that. I've seen plenty of people do that. I've done that. Okay, it's all about developing your own personal sovereignty and being able to say, I make that choice. I make the bad choices even. I made the bad choice to get involved in this thing, and now I have to own up to it. I have to own up to my responsibility in this dynamic that I've been in, right? And this dynamic that I've been in has been, harming me. And I continue to let myself live in that harm, whatever it is. A shitty job, a crappy relationship, something you're hanging on to. It doesn't really matter what it is, okay? But if you are continuing to remain in that space, instead of even making small steps to get out of it, there's no one else to blame, okay? Blame is a game, okay? Blaming is a game. It's a game. It's we say, well, I'm this way because I was born this way, or I'm this label because this says I am. Well, rise above that. Obviously, there are limitations, okay? But if you continue to believe something about yourself, you'll continue to make that reality match that belief system. You will. You'll make sure you'll do things. And this is especially prevalent in people who are saboteurs. They sabotage their life. They sabotage their happiness and their growth. And they make choices that really, they don't, sometimes on a subconscious level, they're not realizing that they're sabotaging their chances at something. It's in front of their face. The answers could be in front of your face, and you're not seeing it, and everybody has different levels of growth, okay? I'm still growing. I'm growing every day. There's a lot of things about myself that I'm still learning that are pretty dark, but there's a lot of good too. We all have choices that we make always affect the specific outcome that we're either looking for or not looking for, right? So it's all about realizing whether or not a choice that you're making, if you're a part of that, it's about consciously looking at it and saying, okay, I am continuing to perpetuate the cycle of suffering, right? Is anyone suffering along with you? Are you suffering alone? And that is a very important question to ask yourself. Am I suffering alone? Is this all an internal conflict that I've created? Or is someone, am I taking information from outside of me and internalizing it and deciding, well, suffering is my life. I'm supposed to choose this. Why would you willingly choose the thing that makes you suffer? Why would you willingly choose that instead of fighting your battles? It doesn't make any sense to me, Recently, I got triggered by a specific thing, and I realized a couple days later that I had been perpetuating a cycle of distrust and fear against certain types of people, certain religious things, okay, that I hadn't quite healed. It's about paying attention to these triggers and paying attention to these issues that need to be healed, okay, and it takes time. It takes time to realize if you've made a victim choice, if you've made your own suffering. Because our minds, our emotions, they can create their own prison well enough without us needing help from anybody else. We can do that. We're special like that. We're special like that as humans. But on my spiritual journey, on, this path of personal alchemy, I've learned to identify when a program or when a cycle is trying to rear its ugly head. And in order for an identification to happen, there has to be some conscious thought about how you're engaging with other people. And if you're making choices to exist in a suffering dynamic without being consciously aware of it. Okay, you can see when you're making choices and it's based upon past issues. But it just takes self-reflection. It's that's funny. It takes self-reflection. It takes being able to see the mirror as it's presented to you so that you can go, okay, do I want to continue making this choice, or should I make a better one? Should I make a better choice? Should I make a choice that benefits me? And it's hard, guys and gals. Like, I know it's hard to go in and say, I'm going to fight this battle. I've decided to fight this battle. I've decided to learn from it and gain my wisdom, gain my understanding. It's tough. Some people have a very hard time going inside. We're distracted. People are so distracted. And it's sad. It's sad. And I've been there. I've been there through many years out of my life. I've seen a lot of death. Okay, a lot of death. And lost very important people to me that I never thought that I would lose. And in very horrific ways. All right? So it's something that I had to learn to accept. I either continue to live in the suffering by making the choice to suffer about the people that I've lost, or I choose something different. You can always choose something different. The narrow vision has gotten larger for, that's funny. The narrow vision has gotten more narrow for humanity. Kind of makes me think of these phones, that I'm here recording on. Is this what's happening to humanity? Are we looking at our phones so much and these little screens that it's actually perpetually creating this narrow vision for people? My brother was driving on the highway and someone couldn't get off their phone. He had to drive off to the chicane. He had to drive off into, one of the barriers. Okay, it was either run into a bunch of people because this person couldn't stop talking on their phone and looking at their phone, and he was honking at them, and she was just barreling through traffic and not paying attention. Okay, so he veered off, and it took 3 hours for a tow truck to get there and everything. And I hear this story and I just think to myself, what the fuck? What was that person thinking? They just sped off too. When he crashed, they just sped off. And it's, he had a moment there to make a choice. It was either hurt a bunch of other people or hurt myself. And he made the better choice. It was to go off the road and go, okay, my car's getting, in the split second, he had a decision he had to make. But what did the other person do? They drove off. They didn't care. Okay. They just went. They left. They made a choice to leave that situation. Or they were just so distracted, maybe they didn't notice. Maybe they didn't see. But the point is, okay, I don't want to rage. I don't want to get on a larger soapbox here. Is that we have a choice. Just like that chick had a choice to be on her phone while she was driving and cause possible harm to other people. That those choices are important. Those choices are more important than we think. She may have thought that the choice of, sitting on her phone, talking, looking at it, scrolling through the texts and stuff like that when she was driving was the right choice. I don't know how in her right mind she thought that, but she thought it was. But consequences, right? I sound like a parent. I sound like someone with a bunch of kids or something here. But anyway, it's life. It's all down to choice. It's all down to choosing to pay attention to what is, your personal issues, instead of always looking out there saying, well, that's what, and that's why, and those pills, and that person with that, issue. And no, I'm not against pills. I'm not against people getting the help that they need. Okay, a lot of people think that I've worked with, or people that I've known, they think that I'm against medical help. I'm not. But what I am against is crutches. okay? And putting band-aids onto things, putting band-aids on wounds and just saying it's the past, get over it. That's not how it works, okay? You say it's the past, get over it, and shove a bunch of pills into your mouth. That's what you do. You put a band-aid on yourself. You don't actually address yourself. You don't actually try to heal yourself. And I'll get real with you here, okay? There was a time in my life that I spent a year doing nothing but just partying and drinking. And I was an alcoholic for about a year, okay? And I just wanted to forget all of my pain, forget all of my problems here. In all of the pain that I suffered when I was growing up, all the trauma. But did it help when people told me, well, yeah, you're partying, you'll get over it? No, it's the same thing. You can't just say, it's the past, get over it. There's a reason you need to face it. There's a reason that you have to get through it. And anybody who runs around saying, just get over it, it's the past, they don't know shit. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It does not work that way. You have to face your garbage. And if you're not, you're in denial. You're in denial about your wounds. You're in denial about what kind of person you are. You're in denial about the things and the choices you've made in your life. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting kind of... But that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's been kind of on my mind is, you know, we make the choice to be dishonest. We make the choice to take pills. We make the choice to overdose. Okay, we make the choice to take things too much. We make the choice to, you know, hurt someone or to continue allowing ourselves to be hurt. It's all down to that. You've been given the ability to make a choice. You're a responsible human being and you have that right to make a choice. Exercise it. Exercise it. And you know, these tarot readings on my channel, they're not about, hey, here's this information, take it, run a mile, and make a choice. Okay? And make a choice based on what I'm saying. No. These are possible choices you can make and insight about yourself and what it is that you're going through. And then you can make an informed choice, something that will help you go in the direction that you want, because I won't tell you lies, okay? I will just tell you the message. And that message is to help you to grow. It's to help you to learn about yourself and learn about what it is that you're going through, okay? So, you know, you always have that ability, that free will, okay, so to speak, choice of what you do and what you don't do. So yeah, I'm gonna just climb down off my soapbox now. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. If you stuck around for this little rant that I was on, this Let's Talk, and I'd like to do these live in the future, maybe get more when I get more subscribers, okay? So go ahead, subscribe below, down there, and you can see descriptions for my site, and I'm going to be posting more videos later today. All right, have a great day.